from a man accused of indecency assault, hoping to avoid jail time.
You entered a plea of no contest to indecency assault on February 25th, 2025. According to your plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication.
And to another caught driving without a license.
And are you Israel Mankata?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Israel Mankata who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 6023 for the offense of evading arrest, detention, using a vehicle on January 10th, 2022 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
These cases show how Judge Boyd handles different criminal offenses, starting with Mr. Delian, who went from facing an indecency assault charge to walking away with deferred adjudication. But should he have served jail time instead? Let's find out.
State
Mr. Mueller, state, Your Honor.
for the defense.
Jason Wolf for defense.
All right, and are you Mr. Deleon?
Yes, Your Honor.
You entered a plea of no contest to indecency assault on February 25th, 2025. According to your plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. And at the last hearing, state you informed the court that you had spoken to the complainant,
Yes,
and the complainant has no objections to this agreement.
correct.
All right, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, we would just ask that you kindly follow the agreement. He's taking responsibility and we just want to put this behind him.
All right. And is there any reason why I should not consider jail time as a condition?
Judge, this was a fact pattern that both the defense and the state have gone back and forth on, quite frankly, during the plea bargain process. I know reading initially the police report as it's presented to the court has been reduced to an agreement of the parties that is a Class A through agreement and negotiation because of that fact pattern. We are here saying that this result is good for our client. He would like to take this result. And we just kindly ask that you follow that agreement. Assessing jail time, I think, would not be appropriate in this instance. And that's what we're asking. We just ask that you
Why
follow
wouldn't
the
it be appropriate? That's what I'm trying to get to the crux, because I read the fact pattern, the police report, and I'm trying to figure out why I shouldn't give him jail time as a condition. State, any response to that?
Sure, Judge. After speaking with the complainant and gathering more information, I think that this is more in line with what the state is able to prove, Judge, and probably more in line with what is appropriate in this case, Judge, as opposed to what it was indicted as. And we've explained that to our complainant, and she fully understands that that's where we are.
So you don't think jail time as a condition would be appropriate in this case?
I don't, Judge.
All right. Are you employed?
Um,
What do you do?
I'm a district manager for ADT security.
From what, for what?
ADT security.
All right, does everybody think this is appropriate for him to be district manager of security and he's just agreed to do a permanent surrender of his TCO license?
I don't have any information about his current employment, Judge, or any opinion on his current employment.
All right, so can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Louis Stallion.
All right, what specifically do you do?
I just train and register sales, door-to-door sales.
All right, do you go into anyone's homes? Do you go door-to-door sales?
I just train. I train and run office meetings, make sure all the back office stuff's taken care of.
All right, this is what the court is going to order with regards to this occupation. If he is entering anyone's homes, knocking on any doors, he needs to let them know what his charges are, if that's what he's going to do.
May I address a couple of things?
Sure.
I'm hopeful that we're no longer considering jail time as a condition. I think he's granted deferred. Having jail time as a condition is a punishment that he certainly didn't anticipate. And I would hope that would not be something that would be somewhat busting our plea bargain.
Well, I don't think that's a busting of the plea bargain. I'm going to follow your agreement for him to have deferred. But if he is going to be employed, because it seems like he's given up his TCO license, but yet he's sort of still engaging in an occupation that's security. What I'm saying is, if he is not allowed to go into other people's homes as a director, unless he lets the person's home that he knows that he is entering, that he's on deferred for this. That's what I'm saying. He's not allowed to go into people's homes. You understand that, right?
Homes everywhere across this world. He's not allowed to go in there unless he
No,
expresses the conditions of this plea bargain.
If
That's
it's,
my
if it's,
understanding.
no, what I'm saying,
Even
you,
if
if
he's given
it's,
consent to enter
if
that
it's,
home?
if it is a part of his occupation, no, he's not allowed to.
During the course of his.
Okay, I misunderstood, Judge.
Okay. All right, so do you understand that? So if you, as a part of your occupation, go into someone's home and they're not aware of these charges and the courts finds out about it, there's going to be a motion to revoke filed. Do you understand? And you understand the reason why the court is requesting that? All right, do you have any children?
No.
What are their ages?
Daughter's 13 and my son's 10.
All right. So the court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine that'll be probated. MRT, the AIDS awareness course. There's to be a permanent surrender of your TCO license. And it also says ID here. There's to be no contact with the complainant. There's to be no entry into any homes as a part of your occupation without notification of this charge. To the home's occupant and your employer.
Judge, do you want written acknowledgement or
Yes.
just verbal acknowledgement?
Written acknowledgement. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, field visits 1 time per month for 3 months, 180 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna require parenting classes. Once you completed parenting classes, your community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Now we have Ms. Gone, who couldn't stop herself from drinking and driving, even after multiple offenses landed her in serious trouble.
Court is calling 2024 CR 010681 State versus Sandra Gaitan. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Ashley Morgan.
And are you Sandra Gaitan?
Yes, I am.
Is it Gaitan or Gaitan?
Thank you.
Gaitan.
I'm you saying it right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That first time.
Oh, thanks. Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Probation, this is an application. Did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do waive it, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I did.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not signed.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
It's not
Thank
your
you.
fault. It's our fault.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Gatan, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you
No, ma'am.
satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, we're on the record. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. State recommends community supervision, ignition interlock for half the term, 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge. And we do have some things to go over with you when you're ready after you've done sentencing.
All right.
Yeah.
State, is that the plea?
It is, sir.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? And do you understand with a DWI third conviction, there is a 10-day jail sanction as a condition of probation? Did you understand that?
Yes.
All right, then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no
No
contest?
contest.
State any evidence.
No.
All right, did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? State, you may be excused. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Gatan has been enrolled in AA. Here's her proof of attendance. She goes every day.
Every day.
She's also completed her victim impact panel up front.
Mhm.
She's enrolled in her DWI education.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, her DWI intervention. She's currently on a portable alcohol monitoring device at 3 specimens per day.
Correct.
She does not have access to a vehicle. She has not had access to a vehicle since this incident. And so we are asking that you do consider allowing her to continue on that affidavit of non-driving and continue on the portable device. And then with regards to the 10 days in jail, we ask that you either hold it in abeyance or allow her to do it via house arrest.
Okay. All right, are you employed?
I'm looking for a job right now.
Okay.
She does care for her elderly mother and she's in school.
All right, this caring for the elderly mother, is that something where she receives payment?
Do you receive?
No.
I'm sorry,
I believe are you,
do you
I'm
receive
looking,
payment?
I'm looking for a job.
but you're not being
Excuse me,
paid.
No.
stop with the conversation.
Oh.
Do you receive payment for taking care of your mom?
I guess I do.
All right, so that's going to stop because the court doesn't allow home health care people to be home health care providers, so you're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
So do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What are their ages?
29, 20, 28, and 7.
7?
Yes,
And where's your 7-year-old? Does your
That's cool.
7-year-old live with you?
yes.
All right, so you're going to have to get employment.
Okay.
Is there a reason you're not working?
Because it's difficult for me to, no driving, no none of that. What I'm trying to do is do a job at home while it pays, while I stay home and pay any of the bills that I have to pay now.
All right, so
Mhm.
you're going to have to get a job. I
Okay.
require everybody in this court to have employment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding you guilty. Court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison. suspended and probated for 4 years. There's going to be a portable device for half the term with an affidavit of non-driving. Are there any vehicles at your home?
No, ma'am.
If you have a vehicle at your home or one that you have access to, it's going to need to have an ignition interlock. So do you have any access to any vehicles?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, probation, if you'll make sure that's the case. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. There's going to be a referral to felony drug court and a TAP evaluation out of custody. There's going to be daily sober support meetings. Until further notice. Proof of employment within 45 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. So if you continue to receive payment for caring for your mother and the court finds about it, which it will, that's going to be a violation of your probation, and a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
I understand.
There is going to be full GPS for 10 days. Waive fees. And GPS is to be installed no later than March 21st. Is that enough time?
Yes, Judge, it's gonna go through the jail,
Yes.
yes.
So no later than March 21st by 2 p.m. There should be the victim VIP live, DWI education, 100 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Make sure they're checking for alcohol. Driver's license suspension for 2 years.
Judge, her license was suspended as a condition of the ALR. Would you consider running those concurrent? I have those dates.
Let's see how she does, and then I'll think about it.
Okay.
Probation, and there will be, is there anything else probation?
On the DWI course, did you want the education or the intervention? The education's 12 hours, intervention's 32.
Well, the problem is her DWIs are so close in time. Usually in this court, I order both.
Okay.
All right. So DWI intervention as well. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
I understand.
All right, so I'm going to go off the record. Here's the thing. DWIs, you could have killed somebody. You could have killed somebody with a child.
Correct.
And I mean, you're saying correct, but you need to internalize it, because guess what? Maybe there's a DWI driver out there somewhere, and maybe your children are in the car and there's somebody out on the road intoxicated. Nobody, I have yet to meet somebody who has a DWI who has committed an intoxication assault or intoxication manslaughter who said, yeah, I picked up a drink and my goal was I'm going to go out and kill somebody. Nobody ever think it's going to happen to them. They're just always thinking, I can handle it. Best
There's
thing,
no
if you're gonna
choice.
drink at all, here's the thing. Arrange for an Uber. Now they have Ubers, Lyft, taxis, Via, or you can have somebody who is a designated driver. I was always the designated driver for my group because I don't like the taste of alcohol. Worked out great for me because I had free sodas and free lunch, but that's what you need to do. And you're one of those persons who can't drink at all. That's why you have 3 DWIs. You understand?
I understand.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Unlike in Ms. Gon's case, here's Mr. Garcia facing an assault charge against a cohabiting partner, and when questioned, he didn't hesitate to blame it all on alcohol.
Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Defendant for the state of Texas.
defense?
John Pettis for defense.
And are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery?
I have, Judge.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery probation. This is an application. Did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding? Are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Assault, violence, as well as making an oral motion to amend the indictment, the name of the defendant to his appropriate name, Raul Garcia.
Any
No
objection?
No objections, Judge.
All right, did you review the admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation? That is a Class A misdemeanor. Range of punishment is anywhere from a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Garcia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State is at the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are in filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be 60 hours of community service restitution, the BIP course, TAP evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, to the lesser included offense, how do you plead?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence.
If your state offers into evidence, states it within one with all attachments.
No objections, Judge.
And state, have you spoken to the complaining?
You have your own.
All right, thank you. You may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would calling the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I just ask that you follow the agreement, Judge.
All right, are you employed?
Yes,
What do you do?
I'm a driver for Five Star Cleanup, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
So why did you do this?
I have no excuse and no reason. I just admit that I was there.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
said I just admit that I was there. Yes.
I mean, what do you mean you admit you were there? There are things in the police report that you've stipulated to that you did. So I'm trying to figure out where is your anger coming from?
I have no excuse, Your Honor.
So why are you drinking? She says you get this way when you're intoxicated.
I have no excuse, Your Honor.
No, my question is, why are you drinking? You're not allowed to drink while you're on probation. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with you mentally that would cause you to be violent against, I'm assuming this is someone that you claimed you loved.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why are you being violent with her?
Your Honor, it was alcohol related. I was not in the state of mind that I thought I was at the time of everything. Why do you drink? Why do I drink? Is because I have things that I'm dealing with internally and I have no other way of, or not no other way, but I'm trying to find a better way to cope. I do understand that drinking is not a way to cope or to move past anything. Sadly, I have been using it to cope in the past, but it's not the way that I wish to live.
Clarify, have you had any alcohol? If the judge drug tested you right now, would you come out clean?
Yes, I'll come up clean.
Thank you. Didn't want any of that to be misconstrued, Judge.
Mhm. So are you currently in a relationship with anyone? All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to grant your application, but during these 2 years that you're on deferred adjudication for, you need to do some soul searching with yourself. Don't get in a relationship with anybody because you're not ready for a relationship with anybody. You need to find out who you are and why you behave the way you behave before you can get in a relationship with anybody else. Because 1, you could be going to prison right now. 2, could be somebody else who, it's like the song, Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. Turns out he wasn't the baddest man in the town, right? So you're going to have to look internally and discover why you're doing the things you're doing. Probation, if there's some trauma issues in your past, probation can help you with that. They can set you up with a therapist. Somebody, maybe you need to speak to a therapist. Sometimes we need to speak to a complete stranger about our issues who is qualified to hear it, who can do something other than just gossiping about what you told them. You understand?
Right.
All right. Do you have any family members here? Any support that you
Yes.
have in Bear County?
Mom's here.
My mom and my sister in the back.
All right. So if you can't talk to them, they'll have somebody. So what have you been doing to address this alcohol issue?
As far as this alcohol issue right now, I have been finding forms of meditation and other forms of extracurricular activities such as working out and focusing on work, primarily on to keep from the best term is idle hands.
All right, so here's the thing. Whenever you drink alcohol, if you're blaming your conduct on alcohol, that means that you're one of those people who cannot drink alcohol at all. So you need to completely eliminate that. You understand? And you're going to have to eliminate it while you're on probation because you're not allowed to drink alcohol on probation. You're not allowed to use marijuana. Don't come back to me saying that you're testing positive because you're drinking, because you're using mouthwash or whatever, you understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, tests for alcohol. There is to be 60 sober meetings in 60 days. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Zoe Kelly. There's to be the BIPP course, TAP evaluation, out of custody, follow TAP recommendations. Probation, if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. And if they recommend outpatient treatment, we're still going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And then we'll do a MIC evaluation and a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. Probation, is there anything? And there's going to be 80 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
I've graduated out of high school.
All right, what's your dream job? What's your plan?
Plan on now is being an EMT.
All right, so if he obtains his EMT license, then the court will consider the community service hours satisfied. So whether you're obtaining your license or picking up trash in the San Antonio heat when it's 100 degrees is completely up to you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else? Thank you. And there'll be field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let the probation officer know what your issue is. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. If you feel like you need more treatment, let them know. If you feel they're not giving you help with mental health treatment or any other type of treatment, you can always come back to court. And what I can tell you is I do not penalize people for coming in and saying that they need more help. My goal and what I hope for you is to be successful on probation. And if you complete everything early and if the state has no objections, then I'll let you off early.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Just remain in court and go over conditions with probation.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Finally, this last case centers on Mr. Mana, who was already on probation for evading arrest, yet still got caught driving without a license.
And are you Israel Mankata?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Israel Mankata who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 6023 for the offense of evading arrest, detention, using a vehicle on January 10th, 2022 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Judge, I apologize, I didn't want to interrupt you, but after the conferring, around the state is going to see that eventually to withdraw, but we would like to alter and amend his conditions.
All right, while you're withdrawing, because the allegations in the motion is he's on deferred for evading arrest, detention of a vehicle. And then new number 1 is driving without a license. And then no valid license. So what's
Sort of the same thing, Judge.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, Judge, so after just confirming the runs and looking at the recommendation of probation, that is, I guess, the course that we have decided to take. So I don't know if you want to step back and.
Sure.
Judge, if
We
you,
can go off the record.
if you recall, Friday I was here and we had actually filed an application to have a bond set on his case, since it is a deferred. But I know that the court would like to go ahead, if you can take care of everything.
I'll proceed however, anybody wants to proceed. So why is this motion being withdrawn?
Judge, the court summary indicates they would like to continue him on probation with intensive supervision, supportive outpatient treatment for him to obtain his Texas driver's license within 60 days. They also would like to see about setting a compliance hearing in 60 days to ensure that all of this has been met.
All right, last time we were here when he was, let me see, because this is not his first motion to revoke. So on his previous motion to revoke, I ordered him to be referred to felony drug court out of custody, 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Has he done any of that? Have you done any of that?
Yes,
How many sober meetings have you done?
I have dockets at my home. I have about, they rough draft of 80.
All
on
right.
file.
Judge, he did not meet the criteria for felony drug court.
Why are you driving without a license?
I have no right excuse.
All right, whose car was that?
That's mine and my wife's.
So what are we gonna do about the fact that he's driving without a license?
Judge, first of all, we're gonna try to get him a license again within the 60
Okay,
days.
so that's what you're gonna do? Because you say we.
Metaphorically, Judge. He's going to get his license within 60 days. That's why we want a compliance hearing 60 days from now to show I've gotten my license. It's okay for me to be.
Are you gonna be able to have your license in 60 days?
Certainly, yes, Your Honor.
All right, why don't you have a license? What's going on with that?
Just tickets and payments. I gotta make payment arrangements. I'm barely meeting ends right now.
Mhm.
I'm the head of household. I barely make ends. I have a 1-year-old son. I have a daughter on the way, which I'm not prepared for. But I do everything in my power to make ends. I even donate plasma, do as much side jobs as I can.
Okay.
And
So do you have employment other than the side jobs?
yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Painting.
All right. So let me ask you this. Did you try picking up the phone and calling them and explaining to them about your financial situation as far as your license goes?
I actually made an appointment and it's months. It's like I have setback months before I have that appointment. And I made the appointment so I could go in and know what I need to get it.
All right, who's your appointment with?
I'm not sure. I gotta look at my phone.
No, I mean,
It's
who did,
months.
what government agency did you call?
The DMV. I think I may have missed it, to be honest.
All right, does anybody want to call? Maybe if an attorney were to call the DMV for him today and tell them that the judge would like him to get an appointment as early as possible so they can comply with his conditions of probation, maybe they will move him up ahead of the line.
Wishful thinking, Judge.
Well, I will tell
I
you,
mean-
here's my experience.
Yeah.
I always say, be kind to people. I didn't realize that they started doing this thing where you needed an appointment to get your license renewed.
Judge, if you want to get your license, you make an appointment today. They're gonna set your hearing
No, here's my
to
story.
go in June or July.
Like the gospel song says, this is my story, this is my song. So I go in and my license was going to expire the next day. And I didn't trust that you have 30 days nonsense. I just said, let me go in. First of all, San Antonio, I thought it was on, I think that's Ingram or whatever. No, it's no longer there, even though it says. So I go in there and there are notes saying, this is not the place you should be. Yes. So I go to Bandera, I go in there, there's this huge line. Everybody that's in line is telling me, so what time is your appointment? Because my time is, I'm like, what are y'all talking about an appointment for? So I just stay in line and I say a prayer and I go up to the counter. I said, I am so very sorry. I didn't know there was appointments, but my license is about to expire. Meanwhile, somebody at the back of the line is just shouting, being mean and rude because it's taking too long. And they're like, we're going to do our best to fit you in. I'm like, thank you so much. And I'll stay at the back of the line however you want. So 3 hours later, I go there and I have my license. So that's why I say we can pick up the phone, call somebody. You have my permission to say that his probation is tied to him getting a license. Is there any way to get him in sooner? Because this 60 days or 6 months, yeah. So if you all will do that, and I'm going to give you all some numbers that I just Googled. And I will write them down. So if you can call and ask, because I ended up at that one, but somebody says, go to General McMullen. And I was like, that's really out of my way.
Yeah, I had to get mine at December, and I went all the way to Sabine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what they do. They'll send you like to Bernie or Castroville or
So
some other area.
here's the number. First number is for General McMullen, which they tell me that's a good one. But I do like the one, and I'm not saying other people are nicer than other people, but the one that's on Bandera, was it Bandera or was it Heber?
It is.
Okay, so let me give you this number. Let me see. Oh, I don't like that number. Let me see. Well, whenever they do that 888 number,
You're not
Right.
gonna get through to anybody. You're
Yeah.
gonna get a recorded
Yeah.
message.
so that number, it should be the 531-1000. Is that on there?
Yes,
Yeah, so if you can call them and you can let them know. So, Mr. Mankata, this is why I always say communication is key. Now I understand what's going on in your life, and I do understand why you would be driving even though you don't have a license. But you just have to realize you can't do that, okay?
Sorry, yeah.
And I've known people who've sold plasma for extra money. So I understand. So, yes, I'll sign the motion to withdraw.
Just so the court's aware, the state's position is not, but for this allegation, he is in compliance with probation, he's basically a negative UAS, and so that's why we decided to take this.
Okay. And then, do you have a cell phone?
Yes,
Are you able to Zoom?
yes.
All right, so we can do the compliance hearing by Zoom.
Okay.
And what date do y'all want to bring this back?
May
We can do like
May 20th.
May 20th,
What is that called?
Tuesday. All right, so we'll set this for a compliance hearing on May 20th. And here's the thing. I say this all the time in court. Some defendants take me seriously, others don't. They're like, that can't be true. If you have issues going on in your life, all you have to do is pick up the phone and tell probation. And if you feel like they're not addressing it, all you have to do is come to me and address it. I consider myself very understanding. I would have understand your financial situation. But hey, plan for children, okay? All right, you should be released sometime today at midnight. That's just the way they do it. I have no
Thank you, yeah.
control over that.
Appreciate it very much.
All right, you're welcome. Keep up the good work, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, would you like the amended conditions to
Yeah.
reflect intensive supervision, supportive outpatient treatment, and for him to obtain that license within 60 days?
Well, here's my question. Has he been, is there anything that he's been using or?
No, Judge, he has actually been negative when he was first placed on probation. And he told the court at that time he had been smoking marijuana. But there was one other positive back in July, but other than that, everything's been negative. He was placed on weekly UAs.
All right, have you been using?
No, ma'am.
All right, here's the thing. You have children. Don't use marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
In this case, you're looking at 10 years in the prison. Don't do that, okay?
I understand, yes.
All right, continue with your sober meetings.
Okay.
Continue.